Hi, this is Nadine with DIY Sweets. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Heath candy bar parfait or trifle. It's fairly easy. The first thing you need to do though is you need to make the chocolate cake. To make the chocolate cake, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dump our 4 eggs into here. And then we're going to dump 1/4 of our chocolate mixture in here. Now all this chocolate mixture is the water that's been brought to boiling and then the cocoa together stirred, and then it is brought back down to room temperature. Now what we're going to do is just mix this. And that's now ready for when we put it in with the cake. We are now ready to start mixing up the cake. We are ready to now add all of our dry ingredients to the bowl. We are then going to just turn this on, just low, just enough to mix it up. Once we have that mixed up, we're going to add to our bowl chocolate and the butter. We want to turn this to just a very low stir cycle, and we do that until we see it's all the dry ingredients are mixed in. And I just want to scrape this down. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this up to medium speed. And I'm going to feed it on this speed for 1.5 minutes. We'll be back when that 1.5 minutes is done. That's now mixed for 1.5 minutes. What we're going to do now, we're going to scrape down the bowl. We're ready now to add that egg and chocolate mixture to this, but one thing I forgot to do to this mixture is add the vanilla. So I'm just going to stir that in so that we actually have all of the ingredients. We're going to take this chocolate and egg mixture and add it to the batter that we have in our stand mixer, but we want to do it in 3 equal parts, having it mixed for about 20 seconds in between each part, for a total of 1 minute of mixing time to incorporate. I'm going to pour about 1/3, you're just eyeballing it, into there. Lift this up, and then I don't want to start timing my 20 seconds until I see that that is mixed in. So I want it to be at the medium speed for 20 seconds. All right, now I turn that up to medium, and I just give it 20 seconds. And now I turn that off, and I lower this back down because I find it's easier to add my stuff that way. I'm going to add the next bit. Again, I'm going to raise this up, and I'm just going to do it on low. So I see that it's pretty much mixed in. Then it's going to go back up to medium for 20 seconds. to do that one more time. This time we want to make sure we get all of the stuff off the sides and into there. We don't want to waste any of that delicious chocolate. And I'm just going to quickly scrape down the sides again, making sure I have everything incorporated before I start. We are now just going to get that mixed in and then beat it for 20 more seconds. We are now ready to put this in our cake pan. Because we're going to be breaking this cake up, I chose to cook my cake in a jelly roll pan. You'll notice my jelly roll pan has a silicone mat in the bottom. I also sprayed down the sides. All I'm going to do is just dump my cake batter into the pan. And then I just want to make sure the whole cake pan is evenly distributed with the cake batter. Because this is in a jelly roll pan, it's probably only going to take 20 to 30 minutes, somewhere in between there. So I'm going to want to start checking this at 20 minutes. This is ready to go in the oven. We will come back and check it when the timer goes off in 20 minutes. This just dinged, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull this out, poke this with the toothpick. You'll notice it comes out clean. We're going to pull this out of the oven and let it cool. Then we'll be ready for our chocolate, our Heath bar parfait. I have all the ingredients now made and ready for putting the parfait together. My cake's baked. I have my Cool Whip substitute in the fridge. I made the 3 boxes of the instant chocolate pudding. If you're not into wanting to have the instant chocolate pudding because it has all of the chemicals that the store-bought stuff has, I have posted with this a recipe I found on making pudding from scratch. Go ahead and make that and it'll be just as good. Mainly, you just want chocolate pudding, whether it be from scratch or whether it be from a package. Today, for convenience sake, I chose to do it from a package. I also ground up my 6 Heath bars. Next thing I need to do is I need to crumble up the cake. I have my bowl and I have my cake. All I'm going to do is grab cake from here, it doesn't have to be neat, and crumble it in my bowl. I don't need really small, fine, like when you make cake pops, but you do want it to be crumbs. And if your bowl's not big enough to hold it all, that's all right. Just fill up the bowl, and then when you need more, you can crumble more. We are ready now to start putting our parfait together. When the parfait or trifle is made in one big container, they call it a trifle. When it's made in individual cups, they call it a parfait. I'm going to show you how to do both today. You can use many different types. This is the one I'm going to use for the trifle. And then I'm going to use this one for the parfait. You can use round ones, you can use champagne cups, you can use wine goblets, whatever you want to use. These are what I chose. I like these, and I get them, they're disposable. You can wash them and reuse them again because they are hard plastic. One reason I like these when I do the individuals because I can find a whole lot of really unique shapes to have my desserts in. And if I'm having a big party and I don't really want to clean up the mess afterward by washing all of these, I can just toss them because they're not that expensive. If I want to, I can clean them up. Either way, they look really great when they're being served. So let's get started. The secret to making parfaits or trifles is to layer them. With this one, we're going to start with a layer of chocolate cake. I'm just going to put in the bottom of my bowl about a 1-inch layer, 1.5, 1-inch layer of chocolate cake. On top of this layer, I'm just going to sprinkle a layer of the Heath candy bars. Over that, I'm going to put my instant pudding. This has sat in the fridge to chill like it's supposed to. Now all I'm going to do is just spoon it in there. Next layer we do is the whipped topping. I like to keep this pretty clean. I don't want to see white or whatever I don't have there, so I keep that wiped off. I keep this wiped off because I want showing through the glass to be what that layer is. We're ready to do our second layers. I just want to add more cake to it. To that cake layer, again, I'm going to sprinkle in some Heath candy bar. And then I want to get some more pudding. And some more Cool Whip. Now, just to help make that look a little bit prettier, I am going to spoon on just a little bit of the more of the Heath candy. And there you have the trifle. Let's move on to the parfait. With the parfait, I'll usually set up about 4 to 6 at a time because it's easier to do several at a time. And then I just put a handful of crumbs. Notice I'm just using my hands on this because that spoon actually gives more than I want in there, because I just want it to be about 1 inch like that. So just putting a handful in. And then on top of that, we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of the Heath candy. Then we're ready to do just a small spoonful of the pudding. And you may need to wipe that down if you're trying to get it to look just perfect. Just a small spoonful. Remember, we need to put another layer, so we don't want very big spoonfuls. One like this is great. One like the trifle, like I showed you, is great if you're just having 5 or 6 or whatever people, not a whole lot of people. But if you're having a big crowd, you're probably going to want to do the individual, just because the individual ones you can make a whole lot of. Just do a little bit more. Do the Cool Whip. And if you're not able to put the full 2 layers on, if it's only big enough to put like 1 layer, then only put the 1 layer. I'm going to try to get as much of the 2 layers as I can. These ones are a little bit small, so I may not be able to get the full 2 layers. But we're going to try. Then I want to add some more cake. And with the cake, I'm going to kind of push that down because I want to try to at least get a modified all of the layers. And that way I can push down that whipped cream. A little bit more of the Heath. We want to add some more pudding. And with the Parfait, if that last layer of whipped cream is over the top, that's going to be okay. You just don't want the rest of it to be over the top. So I'm kind of going to fill up the Parfait with the chocolate. All we're going to do now is the whipped cream, and so I've got this ice cream scoop and I'm going to put like a dab there, push it down a little bit, but that gives me a more decorative look on top. Just put it in and then just push it down a little bit. That gives me more that rounded look on top. And then, of course, I want to finish up with sprinkles. Because we want to make sure they know this is a Heath candy bar Parfait. What guest is not going to enjoy a delicious, personalized Heath candy bar Parfait for their dinner? Dessert, or the scrumptious Heath candy bar chocolate truffle. Whichever one you pick, your guests are going to enjoy it. And it was really pretty easy. This is Nadine with DIY Sweets. Enjoy and happy baking.